Welcome back to Faithful Hands, Healing Hearts. Today, I wanted to continue Isabella Floriana Marcelli's story, and it's perfect because I wanted to speak about grooming, and this story resonates. So, I'm going to go ahead and define grooming. Someone slowly building trust, emotional control, dependence, or secrecy with a person, often a child, teenager, or vulnerable adult, so they can later manipulate, exploit, abuse, or control them. And that's just easier for them to carry out and harder for the victim to recognize the grooming. And as we're going to speak about grooming, not only what it looks like from the outside, but what it feels like when you are the one living through it. This is Isabella's story. When Isabella was 14, she was very young, very naive, and she did not understand the world the way she understands it now. Isabella came from a family where there was love. Her mother was strict, yes, but there was love in their home. Her brothers, her sisters, her parents had a family unit. They had warmth, they had a childhood, they had something solid. And then everything changed when Isabella entered another family. And at an age where she should have still been in school, still learning, still growing, still being protected, instead she was placed into a home filled with chaos, cruelty, control, and confusion. She did not understand it at the time, but her looking back now, she saw that she was being conditioned. She was being broken down. She was being groomed. While Zelrith was gone most of the time, he was out drinking, using women, living however he wanted to live. He Isabella was young, stuck in that house, and lived with his family. She did not know the full truth of what he was doing, only knew that she was trapped in a life where she was too young to understand. And in that environment, Morvexa began planting things in her mind. And she would sit with Isabella and tell her stories about witchcraft, about curses, about hexes, about what people had done to other people, and how those things supposedly worked. She explained things in a way that made them seem normal. She did not present it as evil. She did not present it as dangerous. She spoke about it casually, like if it was just a part of life. And that is what made it so confusing. Her parents believed she eloped. In her eyes, she had chosen that life, but the truth is, she did not understand what she was walking into. She thought she was going out to have fun. She did not know she was stepping into a life of control, abuse, confusion, and spiritual darkness. And now, as an adult, she can finally call it what it is. It was grooming, it was manipulation, it was spiritual confusion dressed up as faith, it was cruelty disguised as family. And it took her years to understand that none of that was normal. But she also wanted to say this: even in that darkness, God never let go of her. She may not have understood what was happening, but God saw it. God knew. God carried her through things she did not even know or even have the words to explain back then. So when she talks about grooming, she is not speaking from a textbook. She's speaking from experience. Grooming is not only about one moment, it is a process. It is the slow breaking down of someone's boundaries, confidence, judgment, and sense of safety. It happens when someone older, stronger, and more powerful takes advantage of someone who is vulnerable. And when that person is a child, it is even more dangerous. That is why we have to talk about it. Because children do not always know that they are being groomed. Teenagers do not always know that they're being manipulated. And sometimes the people doing the most damage are the same people. Standing in church, speaking about God while bringing darkness into someone's life. Isabella survived that. And today, she is using her voice, not because it is easy, but because someone else needs to hear it. If you are young, if you are trapped, if someone is making wrong things seem normal, if someone is isolating you, confusing you, or teaching you things that make your spirit feel uneasy, please listen to that feeling. That discomfort is a warning. And if you are an adult listening to this, pay attention to the children around you. Pay attention to who is influencing them. Pay attention to the conversations they are being exposed to. And pay attention to the people who make darkness sound harmless. Because grooming does not always look like what people think it looks like. Sometimes it looks like storytelling. Sometimes it looks like advice. Sometimes it looks like religion. Sometimes it looks like family. But if it was pulling a child away from truth, safety, love, and God, it is not guidance. It is grooming. And we thank God that even though Isabella walked through that fire, she came out with her eyes open. Because on the outside, she presented herself as a devout Catholic. She went to church and spoke about God. This is more Vexa. And she used religious words, and she carried herself like a woman of faith. So when she introduced these dark things to Isabella, she did not know what to think. She was 14. She didn't have the wisdom, the education, or the life experience to understand that someone was wrong. She did not understand she was being exposed to things that were meant to confuse her spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. That is how grooming works. It does not always start with something obvious. Sometimes it starts with conversations. Sometimes it starts with stories. Sometimes it starts with someone older making evil sound normal, making danger sound harmless, and making control feel like guidance. And while that was happening to Isabella, she was also being controlled in other ways. She was being talked down to. She was being made to feel stupid. She was being mistreated. She was being abused and was isolated from the life she should have had. She dropped out of school. She was not being taught. She was not being protected, and she was not being guided towards a better future. She was just surviving. For a long time, Isabella believed that they thought she was dumb, but she was not dumb. She was a child. She was a 14-year-old girl who had been placed in a grown woman's nightmare. She was young, rebellious, and she made choices that she did not fully understand. But that does not mean she deserved what happened to her. She wasn't dumb. She wasn't weak. She was a child who survived. And now she is the woman who understands it. What happened to her was grooming. Till next time, peace.